In this video, I'm going to model this object in Fusion 360. This object, I think, is just a little bit more complex than the ones we've done so far. You can see it's got a few different levels and it's got this pattern of 4 holes. However, I believe that I'm going to be able to model this object using only a single sketch in Fusion 360. So let's get started. I'm going to open up Fusion and make sure that the units I'm working in are millimeters, and I'm going to start a new sketch on the XY plane. So as I look at this, I see an inner circle, another circle around that, and then a larger semicircle that all share the same center point. So I'm going to start by drawing that, and I'm going to have all 3 of these circles be centered on the origin. So I'm drawing out my 3 circles. I'm not really worried about the size right now because I'm going to use the dimension tool to pull those into size later. Circling back to my diagram, I can see that I have a rectangular back to this shape and then another rectangular boss that sticks out of the top. So I'm going to grab the line tool and I'll draw 3 lines to create the box on top of my shape and 3 more lines to create this little boss. Okay, now I'm going to start adding some geometric constraints. First, I'll use the tangent constraint to get my larger box lined up with the smaller one. It looks like this line needs to go down a little bit, so I'll drag it down. And then I'm going to take the trim tool and cut out some of these lines that I don't need. I'm actually going to scoot this back up a little bit so that I only trim the part that I mean to cut out. Alright, this is looking a little better, but still not perfect. So let's start applying some dimensions. I can see that these various circles, the innermost one has a radius of 23, then the next one has a radius of 34, and finally the largest circle has a radius of 60. There's also this dotted line circle, which we'll deal with in a minute. So 23, 34, and 60. Remember, these are radiuses, not diameters. So if I grab the dimension tool, click on this inner circle, you can see that it's giving me this little circle with a slash through it symbol. That is the symbol for diameter. So we were given the measurement for the radius. We need to convert it to the diameter, and to do that, we can just multiply it by 2. So I'm going to double click on this dimension, edit it, and type in 23 times 2 and enter. Fusion will do that calculation for me. Now I'm forgetting what I said, 34 and 60. So same thing again. This is asking for a diameter, so I'll just type 34 times 2. And finally, here we can see I've got an R, so that means it wants a radius, which is good. I can just type in 60. Alright, next I want to apply some dimensions to my rectangles up top here. So I can see that it's 70 millimeters from the center point of the circle back to the back side of the object. And then this little top piece is 85 by 40 millimeters and is 17.5 millimeters from the corner. So let's add this 70 millimeter dimension first between the center point and the back line. I can set this point as being 17.5 millimeters over from the edge. These 2 points as being 85 millimeters apart, and this vertical distance as being 40. Okay, now this looks a whole lot more like the drawing, which is good. The last thing we need to do before we start extruding is add these little holes. So we can see that the diameter of this hole is 10 millimeters, and I don't actually have indications on the diameters of these holes, but generally when we see this sort of pattern of holes, which is called a hole pattern, what that means is we're going to have a single object that's going to bolt on here with multiple bolts. And when that's the case in an engineering design, those bolts are generally all going to be the same so that the compressive force that they apply is evenly distributed around our part. So I've received this one dimension for 10 millimeters. a 10 millimeter diameter hole, I am going to assume that that also applies to these other holes. Another quick note that I want to mention is in Fusion 360, when we're not in sketch mode, there's a tool called the hole tool. I do not want you to use that to make holes in your objects. That is for specific design applications, which are not what we are doing in this class. So don't use the hole tool. If you want to punch a circular hole through something, we are just going to use the extrude tool for that. Okay, so I'm now going to add this dotted line circle and maybe these other dotted lines that we see here. I can see this dotted line. It's really only a half circle, which has a radius of 50. So in order to make dotted lines, we can go over here to the right to the sketch palette. Yours might be compressed, but you can just hit this little plus sign to make it bigger again. And we have an option here called construction mode. We can change our line type to construction. So I'm going to go ahead and select construction and then grab my circle tool, and you can see that what I'm drawing now is actually a dotted line circle, which is pretty cool. I'm still in construction mode, and so when I grab the line tool, it will draw me a dotted line. This is really useful. What the dotted line does is, as we draw lines in Fusion, we're creating shapes. So you can see if I hover over this rectangle, Fusion is going to highlight this rectangle shape that I've drawn. Sometimes we want to use geometric constraints to define the shape and size of our objects, but we don't necessarily want those lines to carve up our shapes. So you can see if I select my circle and unclick construction, it's going to turn into a regular circle. Now when I hover over this rectangle, the rectangle is carved up, which is not necessarily useful to me. So I'm going to select it again, switch it back to construction. Now I'm going to apply some constraints to this line down here. I'm going to make it horizontal, and I am going to make it coincident to the center point of this circle. Then I'll use the trim tool to trim off these pieces of the circle that I don't need. Finally, I'll use the dimension tool to set this dimension at 50. And I am then going to switch out of construction mode and use the circle tool to make a little circle, which I will dimension at a diameter of 10 millimeters. Now, I could go back and draw some more, 3 more circles here, each individually, but that sounds like too much work for me, so I'm actually going to do a different trick. If I go to the drop-down Create menu, I've got an option down here called Circular Pattern, which is a tool designed to do exactly what we need to do here. Take a feature of our sketch and spin it around. And let me show you what that means. So I've clicked on Circular Pattern. I've got a little Circular Pattern menu over here. It's asking me what objects I want to pattern, so I'm going to select my circle. Then it's asking what the center point should be. I'm going to select the center of my design. And you can see it's showing me what it would look like if I had a circular pattern of 3 of these objects. Of course, I actually want 4, so I'll set it to 4, and I'll click OK. Boom, just like that, my whole sketch is done. I believe I have captured all of the features of this design, which is great. So I'm going to hit Finish Sketch, and now let's do some extruding. Okay, so first I'm going to extrude this main flange up to a height of 25, and I'll extrude this inner area up to a height of 15. I'll take my extrude tool, select this large area, type in 25 and hit enter. My sketch has been hidden, so I'm going to open up the sketch folder and unhide it, get the extrude tool again, extrude this inner section up to 15, and then it looks like this last bit is a height of 15 above the base height of 25. So I'll take the extrude tool, type in 15 plus 25, and there we go. We have recreated the part from this drawing.